Last night, I saw a really interesting interview. Let me pin this. Okay, so the link has been pinned if you guys are interested in coming up. But last night, I saw a really interesting interview. I could take my screen off today and pull back a little bit. Okay. With Apollo Nida. I was shocked. I was shocked. Now, we all saw the video of him. Let me get that part up first. We saw the video of him a couple of weeks ago. He was caught on a Ring camera with a woman, right? She had it set up in her living room, and or it appeared to be her living room. And you could see him coming up to her door, and then you saw them in the living room. It was pretty intimate. There was actually video for it too, so I'm gonna pull the video up. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, you watched it too, Courtney? So it was on Michelle Brown, who goes by Michelle A.T. Alien. She is the mother of everything that we see right now with, people doing TV reviews for reality TV. I believe that she started it. A black woman, okay? Started it, made a way for herself after she had, quit her job. Or I don't know if she quit or if she was let go. I think she was a whistleblower or something at maybe the Georgia Lottery. I don't know. She tells the story quite a bit. I may be missing some details, but she ended up coming on. I think Real Housewives of Atlanta just came out, and then she said, "You know what? This is in my city. I'm gonna start blogging about it," and she blew up. But anyway, she had Apollo Nida on, right? She also had, I believe, Peter on a couple of days ago, maybe. And anyway, Apollo. I have said this a couple of times about it was just shocking to see Martell blow up his entire empire, like his family, everything that he had worked for, the possibility of, and I won't even say possibility, I mean, it was on its way. Like, here on this day, we're going to sign the paperwork for this deal. And it was all snatched from under him. Like, no, because of who your reputation has been on this TV show and, in the public eye. We are selling family housing. You don't represent family. It was just bad. It was bad. And they said they were going to call the place Holt Manor. His legacy, outside of his children, but his legacy would have lived on. You know what I'm saying? Damn, crazy to me. I think when people who are coupled up, men and women though, often talk about that with Martell. Like, how could you have been so slow? How could you have been so slow? Here's the video of Apollo. Here's the video of Apollo. I don't think it has any sound, but y'all can see him there. He has the same beard and mustache. His hair is the same. He's kicking his feet up, no shoes on. She's laying in his lap, right? It got comfy cozy in that mofo. They were Netflix and chilling for real. Anyway, it turns out what Apollo said last night on Michelle's channel is that, and if y'all look at this woman, she looks very similar to his current wife, Shireen, right? To me, she looks like Shireen. But he said that it wasn't the woman who put the information out. Apparently, there was some guy that she was dating who got into her phone, and that the guy put the video out, the pictures, all of that stuff. And so I don't know if she was cheating on the guy, if they were both in relationships with other people. He didn't really, get into all the details, but he did say it was a man who had put the video and everything out and leaked it. And he also said that the relationship had been over for quite some time. but it still has really messed up his household. He was like, right now, he doesn't know what's going to happen next, that they are basically just into it. Welcome, everyone. Keep hitting that like button on your way in, too, okay? But that's what he said. And I was just like really in shock that for a second time and so soon. Now, he said that it was a while ago, but I do want to point out that this beard and hair is the exact same beard and hair that's in the video. So I don't know how long he's been wearing this style. I went back to like RHOA when Sheree had him in that fashion show, or did she have him on the fashion show? I think so. I think she asked him to be, but he was on RHOA. I went back to look at part of those videos, so it could have been, he said a long time ago, but it feels like it was last year sometime, within the last year or so. Come on in, come on in. Lisa Love said, good morning, not shocked at all. I recall the way Apollo allowed Kenya to play in Phaedra's face when they were married. Child, ain't that the truth? Yep, that's true. He speaks differently. He speaks like a man that has, really messed up and wants to correct things. Oh, he sure did, child. He said he knows he looks good. He knows that he's different from the rest. He was patting himself on the back. He did not, I will say this, Lisa Love. The question was asked about Kenya, because y'all remember right before he goes into the pen on RHOA, before he turned himself in, he has that meeting with Kenya. And I believe it was at Bar One. I remember going to that Bar One. I actually took a picture in front of that big poster of Cynthia. I think I still have it up here. Hold on. Let me brag for a second. Everybody who lived in Atlanta probably went there, though. Remember this? That picture of Cynthia? That's me posing in front of it. I thought that was such a cute picture. Anyway, look at me. I am so skinny. My head looks huge. The good old days, child. Now I got to get my 10,000 steps in because, baby, I got weight in all the wrong places. But anywho, he said it was a long time ago. It feels like it was within the last year, maybe year and a half. But he made it seem like him and Shireen had already, had that conversation. And he said that because the videos and everything popped out, it embarrassed him, it embarrassed his family. And now his family is on, it's on rocky ground. And I just hate that for him. I hate it for him because you really want to see people, when they come out of jail, rehabilitate himself. He came out, he had this woman that was waiting for him, that was, with him the entire time, even though Shireen was, a little dirty. Look, Courtney said that she was small too. She said she have a double chin. Courtney, you have no idea. I'm telling you, I have, right after I finish this video, I'm going to do my 10,000 steps, child. I'm like sitting at home and doing these videos have put me out. But anyway, he had somebody that was waiting on him, who saw the best in him, I'm assuming, even though she had come on to Real Housewives of Atlanta and tried to play Phaedra. Let's face it, she didn't have to do that. Phaedra was going through her stuff. Despite, what people think, even if they are, trying to figure things, they're still trying to figure things out. Phaedra still had 2 children by Apollo. And I'm sure she was hurt by, all the things that had unfolded. And she was more than likely embarrassed as hell. Phaedra's position as a lawyer, she is heavy in the church. She also has, a lot of political ties. So there was a lot of things that she said she was embarrassed by. And Apollo had, did his part in helping embarrass her. But long story short, he said that he is currently, him and his wife Shireen are just trying to figure things out. It's rocky. He's hoping for the best, but he's not sure where it's going to go, right? Oops, sorry about that. He's not sure where it's going to go. And then I couldn't help again but to think, how is it this man comes out of prison? First of all, before he even went into prison, he gets out of prison the first time, comes home to Phaedra. Phaedra's on this television show, it's high profile. This man is on this TV show. He's married to a woman who, like Phaedra said on Married to Medicine, she was trying to get her mortician's license. She was still working at the law firm. She was still doing Real Housewives of Atlanta. She was pregnant with their second baby. She had all of this stuff going on, bringing in, I would assume, the bulk of the money. So he was living rather well. He looked good, right? Dressed well, drove a nice car. I forgot how much he said he was spending at the strip club. I think he said anywhere between 5 and 10,000 at the strip club. That was a lot of money. But he was doing all that and still ended up back in the pokey. Because, I don't even know what the reason. I don't know if he's ever explained why he wasn't able to get himself together. But people are still interested in Apollo right now. They still want to see him. It was a big deal for him to be on Married to Medicine. During the interview yesterday, Michelle had made the comment, people really were, loving you. Andy loved you. And he was like, thank you. Thank you. I'm really hoping that it could parlay into something else. And he made the comment that he hopes he can be on Married to Medicine and that he hopes that he could, possibly bring Shireen on. Now, y'all, do y'all think that Phaedra would allow that? If y'all, just based on what Phaedra said in the reunion, when Andy said, do you talk to Shireen? She was like, no. Do you think you'll ever? She went, I don't think so. Like, there's no reason for me to talk to Shireen. And Apollo shows up. When he comes over, he's in the driveway. So do y'all think that Phaedra would be open to Apollo and his new wife sharing her space on any reality TV platform? Currently Married to Medicine, but any reality TV platform. If you think that, first off, if y'all want to see that, put a 2 in the chat. If you want to see that, put a 2 in the chat. If you don't want to see it, put a 4 in the chat. No lie. Add him and Phaedra to add him, just him and Phaedra, or do you want to see Apollo and Shireen? Okay. Oh, Courtney said too. She said, girl, yeah, bring Apollo and Shireen onto Married to Medicine. Okay. So we will have Apollo, we will have Phaedra, and who else? Quad. That'll be 3 people that's not actually the medicine part of Married to Medicine. They'll just be the random people. So only Courtney is saying yes to bring them on at the moment. Listen, I thought that was hilarious that he was even daydreaming about it, because I thought, if Phaedra isn't even cool with you coming into her house, I don't see how you guys would participate with her on that show. And it looks like she has a lot of say-so on what is discussed about Apollo, because she wants that to be a part of her past. So I don't know. I just thought it was curious. Apollo. Anywho, let's see what else I got to talk to you guys about. Martell actually showed up in the chat too. Martell was on, he didn't show up on the chat. I shouldn't say that. Well, the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about before we get into Martell, I wanted to talk to you about this guy right here. Oops, hold on. I need to share my screen. Do y'all recognize his face? Peter Thomas tried to put out a thirst trap the other day, biting his lip. Oh my God. He is hilarious to me. But Peter Thomas, who just lost a judgment, well, just lost a lawsuit that was against him. He has a $9 million judgment against him. Uh, Peter, please. He has a $9 million judgment against him, and he's been, discussing it. He said he's not paying anything. That's not the way to go. You don't want to say stuff like that out loud, but he does not care at the moment. But it was also interesting because the reason why I brought that up is because Apollo said that Peter, Peter, Papa Smurf, yes, Papa Smurf, aka Peter Thomas. Peter Thomas is in a bad spot, man. I think this is his second or third lawsuit with within the last 12 months, it feels like. Y'all remember Tammy Riviera, Waka Flocka's wife? She said that her niece was at his restaurant when he had it over in Maryland. And the niece was accusing Peter of physically attacking her. She said that he had choked her and something else. And I'm not really for sure why. I think she said something like she was laughing. He did something. She laughed at him. He thought that she was making fun of him. And she said that he physically attacked her. It did go to court. He won. I remember him coming out of the courtroom. He showed a video of himself coming out of the courtroom crying, and saying how happy he was that he was victorious. Then a couple of months after that, the bar one over in Maryland was closed. It was shut down. There was a poster, or not a poster, but a post on the door that said it was closed by the city. Apparently there was something happened there. I'm not sure if he served someone illegally, underage, so served alcohol to someone underage. But something like that happened. And then there was this whole entire, both Florida and I believe in Maryland, all of his employees were saying he didn't pay them. They were all complaining. They were doing videos. They were saying, we worked, you promised us. And then we have the lawsuit. The lawsuit happened with some investors. He owed rent. He's just been in a bad spot. But last night, last night, Apollo shared a story where he said that Peter had invested in a house that they had built. He said the house was probably on the market for 800 and something thousand. He said it was a beautiful home. Peter had invested some money. I know he said that he asked for 27,000 of it back. So it looked like it may have been a little over 27,000 or over 27,000, but he needed 27,000 fast. They took it out, gave it to him. Because Peter and Apollo were friends, they didn't sign any contract stating, what should happen in this deal. And so everything was just done on a friendship level. Peter was getting very anxious about the property. So after they had finished the property, they were, put it on the market to sale. And they said that Peter kind of started flipping out on everybody. He's talking about, listen, when am I going to get my money? And basically saying that he thought he was being ripped off. And because the house wasn't selling, so they signed the deed over to Peter, so that Peter could sign it just to keep him, happy. Again, nothing in writing. Peter took on the house, which means he had to take on the house note. And old dude was 7 months behind on the house note, according to Apollo. And the house was about to go into foreclosure. And so the initial investors had to save the house and take it back from Peter. That is crazy. These people are supposed to be friends. It is so wild to me how easy it is to destroy friendships. I guess that's why they tell you not to go into business or do anything that has to do with money with your friends. But that was wild. Peter needs a 9 to 5. Where do you think Peter should go to work, child? Where do you think that Peter should go to work at this point? Peter's been in the restaurant business for a long time. He had like some sort of dinner and entertainment club in Atlanta first. That was the first club that everybody was talking about on RHOA. And then it turned out that one of his partners had bailed out, not Home Depot. I'm mad at you. Um, but yeah, so he just did everybody dirty. And I guess him and Apollo are not friends anymore. He is laughing at Apollo's pain currently because of the stuff that happened between him and Shireen, their relationship being on the rocks. But I was just like, man, oh man, these reality TV men, some of them cannot catch a break for nothing. Okay, they are just into it. They're just having a hard time. Anyway, I was talking to y'all about Martell. So let's move on. Y'all remember this guy right here? Let me put his picture up. Y'all remember this guy right here, Fred the Builder? This is the one who was trying to help Martell with the builder's license. He had given him the books, told him, listen, here's you go online. I think he gave him some sort of computer program so that he could know how to do it. He was like, why are you even reading those books? Do the program. You'll get your multiple choice. It'll be very similar to how you take the test, when you go through with it. And he said, no, I like to read the book. Man, please. Anyway, this guy right here, Mr. Fred, he's still out there doing his thing, building houses. Y'all know that Fred is a PhD. He is a PhD, child. He is a PhD. He is very heavily involved in the church. It looks like I was over there on his page, Dr. Frederick DeCarlos Acklin. So he's very heavily involved in the church and all that good stuff. Whew. And he's hanging out with Martell. Linda Gamble said that Peter needs to work at Walmart. Walmart. Okay, player hater degree. That is a player hater degree, baby. When you take somebody's money, when you fool with a whole investment, because really he was messing up the relationships with Apollo and the investors at that point. Apollo went to them and said, hey, can we do this for him just to make him feel good? I know him. He won't do anything wrong. And everything that he said about that man turned upside down. So that was crazy. But back to Mr. Fred, who was trying to help out Martell. Because y'all know Martell likes to keep a low profile on social media. But there was a post made by Fred where you could see Martell, and that was just 2 days ago. Martell does a hand clap and fire emoji. It looked like a big commercial building. I'm not sure if Martell has investments in it, but Martell was definitely keeping an eye on it and responding to it. And so that's interesting. That's something new. Y'all know that when Martell liked that picture of Sheree and that see-through like sheer dress, she had like a beading or like a pearl on it. He liked that video, put a little heart emoji on it, and he had to take that off. It messed up his little household. They was not feeling that at all. Okay. Let's see what else is going on. Let's talk about this one real quick. Let me see if y'all have anything else to say about Martell. Let's talk about this one real quick. This is Carly Russell. Y'all remember Carly Russell? She pretended like she was kidnapped, abducted on the very busy Alabama highway, a highway that's really popular. A lot of people know that highway, by the way. And hold on, some people are saying some things about Fred. Let me put his photo back up real quick. Does he really? Sonny's boo, his name is Moses. Fred looks like Sonny's boo. Hanging around Martell is questionable. Yeah, listen, you'll be amazed at how many people, the thing is, narcissists have a way of showing themselves in a lot of different lights. They have multiple personalities. So not everybody gets to see the abusive side of a narcissist. So when those conversations come out, when people say, I never saw that, I don't, it's hard to believe because I never saw it. That's true. It's really hard to believe it because you don't see that in them. They can turn it on and be someone completely different. That's why they say Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, child. It is completely different for a lot of people. But anyway, let's go back to Miss Kylie, or excuse, I called her Kylie. Her name is Carly Russell. Um, Fred, not so much. Okay. Somebody said Moses is fine, child. She ended up pleading guilty to the kidnapping hoax, and a judge put her on a 12-month supervised probation. And he actually said that it's a waste of government resources to put her in jail. And I know that a lot of people on social media, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people, sometimes, it feels like a lot because it may be the only voice, but the people who aren't talking could be just as loud. So the people that were on social media, there were some voices that were saying that she needed to be locked up and things like that. I was kind of questioning it because this happens more often than people know. People constantly are all the time are saying that they have been kidnapped and things like that to get out of situations. They don't look like Carly, though. They don't look like Carly. This is the first time we've seen something this public with a woman that looks like Carly, but it happens all of the time. And some people, and for the most part, they get away with it. They'll even say they were kidnapped by a black male. They'll give, a description, and then come to find out they made it all up. There's several cases like that. Y'all can look it up. They've happened within the last year, 2 years. And so this judge actually said no, that he was not going to put her in jail. And I just wanted to point that out because I like to keep up on these stories because it's interesting. But anyway, let's get to another story too. I'm waiting to see if y'all have anything to say about it. She seemed remorseful, but I know a lot of people said that she wasn't. And also, I know that people were saying that her parents are really involved in the church and they're pillars of their community. So this was really like a very embarrassing moment for them. I'm not sure if the parents have since come out and said anything about it because they went on to a national platform, one of those like Good Morning America or something like that. And they were saying that they truly believe that she was kidnapped. So she came out and admitted that it was a lie. When she went to court the other day, she admitted that it was a lie. So that's interesting. And I hope that we can all learn some lessons from this because this is not the way you want to go. I think Jussie Smollett, he's still trying to, fight going to jail with his case because he said that he was beaten up by some Trump supporters and went to the hospital. I'm not sure how city resources were actually used. Not in the same way it was used for Carly, but they are trying to send him to jail for that. So that's just really insane to me. But, there's a lot of people that are supporting it too. A lot of people are supporting him going to jail. There are a lot of people supporting Carly going to jail. It's definitely wrong. I'm not saying that, but jail should be used for people with some real things going on. She would not fare well. But anywho, let's talk about the other story. Let's talk about Melody Cherie, who made this post a little earlier today. This morning, she said, yesterday was everything for me. So yesterday she was in, doing the cast trip. She is doing her island excursions, and it seemed like they were all enjoying themselves. Everyone who posted, I believe it was Stormy and Tisha had posted some video of herself, prancing around the island in her bathing suit. Anyway, it says, yesterday was everything for me in so many ways. I've been manifesting and putting in the atmosphere no gray areas in my life. And baby, the freedom that comes with that. When you get to that place, it's everything. It's freeing. Stay tuned. Hashtag trust me. Hashtag stay tuned. Hashtag trust me. So I had talked about this just a little bit too yesterday because I said, listen, no gray area. She said, no gray area in business, friendships, or relationships. No gray area means that I don't deal with anything that I don't trust, that doesn't have transparency for me. Melody showed herself with her, I think he's called the showrunner, Marcus Barnes. And so she looked like she was having a good time. And she said, listen, at the end of the day, she said, no gray areas, no gray areas. And that yesterday was everything for her. So a lot of people were also asking or saying, I hope that people aren't bothering Melody. I want to make sure that she's having a good time. I'm happy she's with her friends and that she's not doing anything with the rest of the cast. I am looking forward to seeing how this season moves forward, especially after Melody had declared with the group, listen, this is where I am with y'all. She sat down with Marceau. This is where I am with you. Don't be making fun of my businesses and acting like what you have going on is something different from what I have going on. And now that we know that Black had closed down for a few days and all of that stuff, I'm interested to see if it gets brought up, all that good stuff. I'm interested in seeing what they have to say about it. I know a lot of people said that they thought it was going to be a storyline, but who's going to bring it up? Who's going to bring it up? That's what I want to know. And we also know that Sunny is there. So Sunny Minks, I believe is her name. Sunny Minks, who married Destiny's ex. Destiny said that that was a real man, that her relationship, it was good to be with a real man. It's going to be interesting to see if he says anything about Destiny or if she says anything about Destiny. And from what Destiny said, Sunny was actually her assigned producer. How do y'all feel about that? That Sunny was Destiny's assigned producer, was aware of that relationship that Destiny had with Moses, and then ended up being with Moses. Is that a bad deal? Is that breaking girl code? I don't know if there is a girl code at this point, but is that a bad deal? Let's see. And there was one more thing that I wanted to show you guys too. Because we are just talking about, y'all, just stuff that has happened in the week. Stuff that's happened in the week. We're just unwinding. Courtney said that Sunny is a mess. Okay. I really wanted to know if Sunny's going to be on the show, if she is coming in, at a disadvantage. Because for the most part, I mean, stuff like this happens all the time, but for the most part, do y'all agree with this? I think Sunny said that Destiny and Moses had broken up before she had ever gotten with him, but it seems like, well, I don't know. I think maybe they knew each other from St. Louis, so maybe it just happened to have been a coincidence. Who knows? We're going to hear what they have to say about it, though. Let's see who else we can talk about real fast. Let's talk about Quad, and let's wrap this conversation up about Quad and Dr. G, since there was a lot of people in the comment section that really dislikes Quad and said that under no circumstances should Quad be telling her story of, alleged abuse between her and Dr. G. They said she had plenty of time to share this story. Why is she sharing it now? It is simply to go after Sweet Tea. They're saying that it's simply to mess up Dr. Gregory's relationship with Sweet Tea. Now, that's kind of heartbreaking. If someone's gone through some things, I don't think there's a time limit on when they can talk. I think your story, the journey that whatever you've gone through, whether it happened when you were 1 year old, 10 years old, 30 years old, 80 years old, that's your story. You get to tell it. That is who you are. That's something that happened in your life, and you should be able to share it. So I don't know if I don't necessarily agree with that, but people are saying it is just kind of opportunistic, maybe, that she's sharing this story. when Dr. G is married and appears happy. My question to y'all is, if Dr. G has this history with Quad, why would he come on the show? Why would he come on the show with his current wife? Because we know the men don't get paid. It's only the women. Even though that's a thing with Real Housewives, the men don't get paid on Real Housewives. The men don't get paid on Married to Medicine either. So Dr. G really is putting his wife in the forefront. She's the one who's making the check. And there is going to have to be some drama around her in order for her to continue this check. She's going to have a story. And I am flabbergasted that he would even want her on the show if him and Quad shared this history. I found that to be wild, personally. I know a lot of people keep making it between Quad and Sweet Tea. Why isn't anyone asking, why would Dr. G come back on this show? Why would he come back on this show if he shared this history, if there may be some people that know more about his history, and if the threat to tell it is out there? Because it's definitely out there. I had this photo up here of Dr. Heavenly because she and Dr. Simone sat down the other day, and they were apologizing to a lot of people for the things that happened during the season and off the show.
I heard that you had said something about me.
Oh, I didn't say nothing that I couldn't say to your face.
What you say about me? Because you paying for lunch, right?
Well, so first of all, I am going to treat you to
Thank
lunch.
you.
That is
Thank
correct.
you.
But Heavenly, she's mean, y'all. She
Who's
get
meaner
on.
than you?
She get down to the YouTube.
What did you do at the YouTube?
I don't get on the YouTube.
You was on
I
there
do
with
all
Carlos
of mine
King.
in front
That
of the camera.
That was on Carlos King.
So I'm going to pause it for a second. But if you didn't watch the interview that Dr. Simone did, she actually said that she thought that Heavenly was too mean on the show. She also said that if Dr. Heavenly continues with the energy that she's bringing to the show currently, that she would quit the show. She said being a doctor is the most important thing to her. She has a malpractice insurance policy she has to sign every year. And she said, I am also on review boards for, I guess her credentials at the hospital every year. And she said, so she doesn't want to bring whatever Heavenly has going on, that messiness, she doesn't want it attached to her. And so Dr. Heavenly and Simone ended up having lunch together, I guess, to discuss it. So I thought that was interesting, but I'll let y'all hear the rest.
I get in my feelings and I get inappropriate from
But they
time
did
to
say you
time.
apologized. I didn't get that at first. I didn't get that at first. The people just said you doubled down. You didn't say you apologized.
No, I did not double down. I apologized. And people see what they want to see. They hear what they want to see.
Well, I apologize too.
Is an apology.
Because I done said some wrong things too.
Well, who did you apologize to?
The world.
Into the camera. Go ahead.
I apologize to everybody that I've ever wronged in my life. No, I said.
Hey, Contessa, Gia, Nicole, Mariah. Hey, she. Who else? Sweet Tea.
Okay, sorry.
Simone, Jackie, Toya.
What did I do to Jackie?
Cecil.
Listen, me and Cecil
Scott.
made up. We made up. We all made up. I apologized. Is the apology not good
How
enough?
long is my list? My apology.
Okay, let's start with Jackie. You need to apologize to her.
Sorry, Jackie.
Okay, Toya.
Sorry, Jackie, that I honestly didn't remember Hilton Head. I remember every single thing else, but I did not remember.
Talk about that, but okay.
And Toya, what do I need to apologize to Toya for?
It was some years, but
it was a long time ago. It was season 2 reunion.
Okay, Quad.
Quad. I'm sorry that I said catch us up, and then obviously season 10 reunion. Wrong. I'm sorry.
At the crab boil.
That's can I catch us up?
Okay, then you sent her home at Napa.
I'm doubling down on that.
Okay. Anywho, so I just wanted to play that. So we're gonna see what happens next, but I'm really hoping this is my hope for Quad and Sweet Tea. Quad actually put out a post or responded to a post yesterday where someone said, I appreciate you not bringing anything that you got going on with Dr. G to the show. So for season 11 to the show, because, you know, you shouldn't be making that your storyline. And Quad actually said, I have no intention to bring anything about my relationship with Dr. G to the show. So that's number one. She said she wasn't going to do it on the show, but she did respond saying that she was going to talk more about her story when she returned home because she's on vacation. So maybe she's just going to do it on social media and let it rock. We will see. But I do want to, I'm just asking, if Quad has been on the show since the beginning, Dr. G ended up leaving. If this history is true, why would you come back on the show? Why would you come back on the show? That's all I'm asking. So I don't know, y'all. That's pretty much it. That's all I had to talk about today. I hope y'all have a great, fantastic Friday, and I will check you all on the next one.